the real reason why Donald had to come and pause the tariffs, it's actually to do with the bond market. And I'm going to show you the graph why. The bond market is essentially, we call it the treasuries, is the debt that the government issues. The debt comes with an interest rate that the government pays. And if the interest rate is high, obviously it means the government has to borrow at a higher level, and the cost of borrowing goes up. That can be very dangerous to a country, especially if it has a lot of debt. And the U.S. has a lot of debt. It has more than $36 trillion in debt, which is about 125% of its GDP. And any percentage point increase on that debt causes huge issues because every couple weeks, it has to roll over the debt, i.e. the debt that it borrowed from Japan or China or whatever, or from the central bank, matures, i.e. comes to the end where they have to pay back. The U.S. government has to pay back that debt to those countries. But instead of paying back the debt, it rolls over the debt, i.e. takes new debt to cover and pay off the old debt. And it keeps on doing this. But as it's doing this, what matters while it's rolling over the debt, the interest rate that countries are going to pay, if that increases, that's going to be a huge problem. And guess what? That's exactly what happened in the last few days. Look at the interest rates of the 30-year treasuries. So this is the debts with a term of 30 years. Look what happened the past couple of days. It kept on increasing until the 9th of April, where it reached 5%. That is huge, as Trump loves to say, because he was attacking China, and China holds a lot of that debt. It starts to dump the debt, i.e. sell the debt. And when there's a huge sell-off of U.S. debt, interest rates rise up. This shouldn't be 5% because these treasuries that the government issues are considered as risk-free because the U.S. is never going to default on them. In the worst case scenario, you can just print more money and pay the amount. So it's risk-free. And the issue for Trump that he's faced, and this is why on the 9th of April he had to pause the tariffs, is because if this continued, the government wouldn't be able to borrow money. It would be an issue for the government to borrow money, or at least it would result in the Federal Reserve to bail out the government. And this would be catastrophic for Trump and his momentum. So he actually had no choice because the market told him, you got to do this without saying it in words. It's no coincidence that this happened on the 9th of April, the same day that he paused the tariffs.